Hi. Hello.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Hello. Welcome.
to go into it.
Yeah. Welcome to the Organized Chaos podcast. This will be streaming on both the main Organized Chaos channel and the podcast channel. But after it's done streaming, you will only be able to find it on the Organized Chaos podcast channel. So if for some reason you need to watch it again, it is free. It is absolutely available to you. But you gotta go over to the Organized Chaos podcast channel. I have links all over the channel for it, and it will be right there for you, free to watch whenever you want. It's also available on most podcasting services if you just want audio version. Also, make sure to like and subscribe and follow.
Yes, please. Like, comment, subscribe, follow. Please. We'd love to hear from you.
Algorithm. Yes, the algorithm things are good. We like the algorithm.
And don't just watch the first few minutes of it either. Watch the full thing. You know, we stagger our way through a lot of stuff. Mostly with a 95% success rate.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, it's almost a success. And what's amazing is that the podcast never has any technical issues. It's always seamless in every aspect.
Never.
This is
never.
I mean, we call it the best podcast in the history of the universe, and we only call it that because it's true. Like,
our
there's no better way to describe this
we'll
podcast.
do it live.
Yes.
These counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
I know there must be many thoughts going through your mind right now. Is this the right place for me? Do I belong here? But let me assure you that we see something in you.
Congratulations, and welcome to Godolphin University.
Golden Boy, Jordan, Andre, they're going all the way. They could save thousands of people.
I was coming up with your superhero name. You want to hear it? Bloody Marie.
That's terrible.
Okay, Coagula.
Even worse.
Well, our war hero has arrived. You made a good choice coming back here. Osage are the finest, wealthiest, and most beautiful people on God's earth.
Someone's moved in with the Barclay family, and so has terror.
Chucky.
Nobody believes you about Chucky.
No one believes the truth. Or lives to tell it.
Hello, and welcome to Ed Harris Dancing, the exclusive podcast exclusively about Ed Harris dancing. This was such an exciting topic that I invited Bobby to join me. Hey, Bobby, you want to talk about Ed Harris dancing?
I mean,
Ed Harris dances in
His
one of our
moves.
movies. But yeah,
It's mesmerizing.
it's amazing. And my internet connection's being wonky, so like if things get a little wonky, I apologize. But
Okay.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. How are you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing pretty good. That was nice that you played that unsolicited jingle.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I don't know. I thought it
Yeah.
was hilarious, and I was like, oh, I need to figure out a way to work that into the intro because
I'm
I
happy.
fucked up.
Yeah.
I had Killers
Yeah.
of the Flower Moon totally on for this week, and I'm going to look up showtimes. I'm like, opening October 20th. Oh, that's not this week.
Yeah, it was around the time that you had messaged me that I was looking at tickets, and it's like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
And you go, I might have like, oh, I'm happy my guitar was just right by me.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. I gotta work that in. But yeah, no, I just remember looking up the theater. Okay, what showtimes look like at my theater on Saturday? And I'm looking, I'm like, where the fuck is Killers of the Flower Moon? The fuck? How do they not have this movie? I mean, come on. Oh, shit. But yeah. You know what? I got to see Child's Play instead, and that was, I'm not gonna lie, that was fun. I have never seen that one before, but we'll get to it. But yeah. Let's see. Anything you want to dive into before we get into our first thing with media piece?
I got nothing this week.
Okay.
Nothing sparked me enough.
Yeah.
Nothing sparked me
Well,
enough.
I mean, we do have Gen V.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
You know,
actually.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed this
I will
series.
say. Yeah, well, one thing I will say is that this is kind of a slow burn in comparison to The Boys, because I remember The Boys grabbed me a lot faster, and this one was kind of like it intrigued me the first episode, but didn't super grab me. But every episode up has gotten me more and more interested in what's going on. So
yeah, absolutely.
I guess a bit of setup. This is a spinoff of The Boys. I actually I kind of knew it was coming out, but I kind of didn't, and then all of a sudden people were talking about it being out, and I went, "Oh,
I knew
that's the thing."
About it, I just didn't know much about it. Like it's supposed, I knew it was supposed to be like starring young superheroes in like a college like setting. That's about all I knew, and it's like okay,
yeah. Well,
cool.
Probably the best way. I know people. I was gonna say people have said this, but I think it's really true. Like where you have The Boys and those superheroes are like your Justice League. Here we're dealing more with the X-Men. These are like fit bunch. You have your main character Marie Monroe, and she is I want to say bloodbender. I know that's an Avatar: The Last Airbender thing, but like essentially she manipulates blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a side effect of that is that like she's essentially a cutter. Like she cuts her hand open and bleeds and uses that to attack you. And it's gross and it's weird, but I mean it's 100% in style for The Boys.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And and just to get a bit more into this, like this is supposed to be the first generation of superheroes that I'm not gonna lie, Pink Bunny, I was actually wondering that when I said the name. I went Marie Monroe. Oh, is that supposed to be like Honora Monroe? God, I'm probably slaughtering her first name, but yeah. Yeah, totally a tip of the hat to Storm. Although Storm got cooler powers. As far as the powers library, Storm did better. But
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Essentially, and then her roommate is Emma, aka Little Cricket, and her power is that she can shrink really small. And then you find out that her thing is also engaged when she throws up. She has to throw up to get small because it's The Boys, and nothing is ever straightforward.
No.
And then who else? I think the other really interesting hero I thought was Jordan Lee. So we have the woman and the boy over here on the left side of the poster.
Yeah,
and
matching
they're wearing the
jackets.
same coat, and that's because, yeah, they're the same character.
Yeah,
it's a person who can swap genders pretty much at will, and it also seems like whenever something life threatening happens to them, they automatically switch genders.
yeah,
And I think we're going through something interesting with them because their parents are very dedicated towards them being a boy, and it seems like they prefer being a girl. There's no
yeah.
they aren't exploring any social stuff with any of this stuff. We have bulimia, we have somebody who cuts themselves, and we have somebody who
Self-harm.
swaps genders. No, we are not
Yeah.
exploring any social
No
issues at all
themes
with this series. This
whatsoever.
is just, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No.
All of those right off the bat within the first episode.
Yeah. It dives right into this stuff. Yeah. It is this show is heavy in the themes. I guess like you have Andre who's like laying down on the steps here, and he's a telekinetic, and I haven't figured out any particular downside to his powers per se. They'll probably get to something, but I know his dad's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
his and then oh yeah, and Golden Boy, who was just in the first episode, although we've seen him in other stuff, but he was like, I think like this school has this fucked up ranking system where it's like you want to be in like the top 10 students. Let's see how long my camera lasts for. Internet, be good. But
yeah,
and it goes away. Never mind. But yeah, there's this top 10 ranking system, and students want to be in the top 10. And then Golden Boy, who was the number one, goes and in the first episode, spoilers for the very first episode, goes and kills Clancy Brown professor.
Yeah.
Marie walks in on him, and then there ends up being a fight between him and Jordan.
Yeah.
And then he kills himself, and that's kind of the setup for the series. And then the ranking is just this weird thing. Some students care about the ranking, some really don't give a shit. The parents seem to care a lot, though, which is where things get wild.
Which is also like the parents can also keep the same tabs on it the way that it's shown like as a phone app. It's wild. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Brightburn, would you say The Boys is Buffy and Gen V is Angel in terms of quality so far? We are not remotely far enough into Gen V for me to judge it that way. I think it has potential to be just as good as The Boys. And while I think Angel is fine, I definitely think Buffy is better. I think Gen V has potential to be just as good as Boys right at this point. Who knows? Maybe better, but that was a high thing to crawl. What do you think, Bobby?
I'm not too familiar with either Buffy and Angel, so I can't really comment on that comparison to it. I feel that The Boys and Gen V, it's too early for me to tell if it could rival as a series. Because I know that, like, I think it's like Angel was the spinoff of Buffy, right? I have that correct? Yeah. So I don't know. So I never got into either show, so I couldn't tell you which would be better, how they were. How, for example, tell me how would you, in your opinion, is one greater than the other?
Oh yeah, I would definitely say Buffy ended up better. I think Angel had moments, but stupid internet connection. Yeah.
So you'd say
I think I'd have to give up on the camera.
Okay. So Angel had its moments.
Yeah, no.
Okay, yeah.
I would actually say it's kind of comparable. I don't know if you're familiar with these, but like Stargate SG-1 versus Stargate Atlantis. I thought Atlantis at its best was better than SG-1, but consistently SG-1 was better.
I watched
that makes sense.
Atlantis more. Like, not that heavy, but I remember watching Atlantis more than the first Stargate. Or SG-1, rather. But for this, I mean, it's too early for Gen V. Yeah, but it's too early to tell for Gen V. It definitely is like, I think The Boys like definitely push enough of a boundary so this show can do a lot of what it's probably going to do and has done already. So, yeah. I mean, in regards to the first time we see the
Yeah.
girl who can shrink, and the first time we see her, or the second time we see her shrink, like after the party when she went back to the dorm room with the boy. Yeah.
Yes, and I want to
Yes, he
add,
was.
Jason Momoa was not good in Atlantis. I think he's gotten much better.
No,
as an actor.
Well, he was in a lot of stuff very
I
early
think
where he
he's
was
gotten
not
better.
good.
At least he has. At least he's. Yeah, no, he wasn't good in Atlantis.
He was on a show,
and I thought Atlantis is a good moment.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, I'm excited about Gen V and to see where this will go. Definitely.
Yeah, well, the overall story right now is you have Sam, who was.
Oh no! All I was going to say is I really loved the moment of the Deep where he was giving a condolence message about Clancy Brown's character. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh god. The Deep is kind of just hilarious. He is the comic relief of the boys. Just
so far, he's the only character
all
from
the
boys.
Terrible rumors about Aquaman.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, pretty much. But I think he's the only character of the main cast I've seen cameoed, like straight appeared in the show so far.
Oh well, Ashley's been in 2 episodes so far, so she's been in half the series, and then.
Well, yeah, Ashley too.
There was a brief shot of A Train, and I imagine that had to be shot new, but maybe it was archive footage in.
Or it could have been like unused footage from the boys.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was actually shot for this or not, but Ashley had to be shot for this, and Deep definitely had to be shot for this.
That's right, Ashley. I forgot about her.
This is. Yeah, X-Men in the boys universe. I'm excited. Oh yeah, and I was going over the story point. So like Sam is Golden Boy's brother, and he's been kept in the woods, which is an underground lab. Spoilers for the first 4 episodes, but that's as far as I know. And Emma shrunk down and saved him, and he seems like he's really powerful, but also seems like he's probably not the sanest person. So it seems like there's going to be issues with that. We have to see how that goes. But yeah, overall, I'm really digging this series. I'm excited to see the next 4 episodes, see how the season wraps up. How about you, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes because everything with like obviously it's a school sponsored by VOT, so you know it's no good. You know there's some malevolent shit going on. And of course it's gonna go on down underneath it, just right underneath their noses. So I'm curious to see where they're gonna go with that and what else evil shit and wild shit we're gonna see.
Yeah. Well, with the boys, you're always gonna get some wild shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't see this being any different.
Breaking Bad. Saul's good, but Bob Odenkirk's great, but I don't know. That's kind of tough. Bob Odenkirk is great.
I've seen all of Breaking Bad. Okay, I was just throwing in. I think I'm delayed a bit, but anyways, so I've seen all of Breaking Bad. I think it's great, although I think the middle gets a little slow until they figure out exactly what they're doing. Like not necessarily the middle, but like season 2, 3-ish, I want to say.
Yeah,
overall it's great. Yeah. And then Better Call Saul. I have not finished, but I really like what I've seen. I haven't seen enough Gen V to really equate it. I will say I think The Boys season 2 and 3 is better than Breaking Bad season 2 and 3, for what that's worth.
I enjoyed the writing just a little bit more.
I think they're both great series, though.
Yeah, they're both great series.
Yeah. Well, speaking of messed up stuff, are we ready to dive into Creepshow?
Oh yeah, let's get into it. Wait, hold on just a moment. It's a great shot.
Yeah, Stephen King. Stephen King gives the biggest performance I've seen of him so far. Although I know he's been a role in a couple other stuff. But yeah, Creepshow, directed by George A. Romero, written by Stephen King. This is a collection of short stories. I'm trying. How many short stories are there? Like,
or 5.
There's the prologue and epilogue, which is essentially 1. There's 5, and then
yeah, I believe.
And then there's the cake skeleton dude.
Yeah,
and
there's
then there's
Father's
Stephen
Day.
King and the Moss.
Yeah.
And then is it the Tide one after that? I think
something to tide you over,
and then the Germaphobe.
Yeah,
yeah. So I'm coming up with 6. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of short stories.
Yeah, I don't really count the epilogue and the prologue as part of it. I just
okay. Well, I didn't even think about that, but there's not like a full story with that even really. So I think that's probably
except
fair.
Tom Atkins.
It's more just hinting at stuff. Yeah,
except Tom Atkins.
Yeah, that is awesome to see him though. It's very brief. Yeah, but yeah, this is wild. So I've heard of this, but I've never actually sat down and watched it. Although I think I've seen segments of the Something That Tied You Over before, because that was really familiar. And that was also my favorite segment here.
And Leslie Nielsen is fucking
awesome.
evil as shit in that, isn't he?
Dude, I know, like, I've seen Forbidden Planet like years ago, so I know he did serious acting. But like, I am so used to Frank Drebin, so seeing him as just like this psycho killer dude is kind of wild and kind of great at the same time. I kind of dug it.
Yeah.
And then
so you'd say Something to Tide You Over was your favorite segment out of the whole thing.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I thought my least favorite part was Ted Danson and his girlfriend, I'm not sure who it was supposed to be, his significant other, rising up to do the evil deed. I thought that didn't thrill me, but overall, I thought that was just kind of a twisted, great story.
I believe the story is that the lady was Frank, or not Frank, but Leslie Nielsen's character's wife. So, I think
was Ted Danson the boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes it wild. Okay. Well, still, you should be burying.
That's what I've gathered from this. At least.
Oh, okay. What is that? That looks fancy.
That is a graphic novel of it. So it has
ooh,
a story.
Oh, wow. So is that supposed to be like the comic book that they keep on referencing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
It's a fucking garbage,
cool.
According to Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
The Lonesome. I did love
Tom Atkins threw in the garbage.
I did love the Stephen King segment. I did actually really enjoy that one.
I know. Like, I'm not like Stephen King as an actor doesn't necessarily thrill me, but like, he's just playing this dumb farmer who comes across this meteor and just green shit grows all over. And it's just so goofy. I'm kind of on board.
What's fascinating about this though is the order, because it went from Father's Day to The Lonesome Death of Jory Voro, then to Something to Tide You Over. But in the book, you see Jory there, and the next one is the crate. So the crate.
Oh wow!
In the book, yeah. Interesting, yes. But I think it's something. Oh yeah, and they don't, spare away. It's just as over the top. The crate was definitely
over the top.
A little bit. The crate was my favorite, just because of the creature. Now, did you happen to go through and read any of like the practical effects team or anything?
No, I am interested. You got me intrigued now.
Even though Tom Savini appeared in this movie, he did not have a part of the effects. He just appeared in the movie. So I'm going to tell you that right now. So it's not Tom, though. You see him and you would definitely think, I want to say it's Rick. I have it here. I just closed it out. Hold on. But you did enjoy this for the first watching.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, like actually the Crate was probably my least favorite one. I just felt it went on a bit too long.
Okay.
I don't know. Hearing the different order, I was actually thinking maybe the Crate would go better, and then kind of leave the something that tied you over a bit closer to the end, because I think that one's really strong in my opinion. Just a twisted like
a great tale of revenge.
Yeah. It's Leslie Nielsen taking Ted Danson out to the beach and having him bury himself neck deep, and hoping the tide as it washes over him will be able to loosen the sand enough to get him free, or else he just drowns. And of course he's set up to drown. But yeah, it's just this twisted story. Leslie Nielsen as a villain. Very young Ted Danson. This might have even been pre-Cheers Ted Danson, or at least early days of Cheers Ted Danson. Of course, you have the Stephen King and the moss growing all over him. I don't recall any real resolution of that story, but what, he took a bath, maybe? Was that the resolution?
And then he shot himself.
That's right. God damn it. Yes, there was a resolution.
He looks like the Swamp Thing, and it's like, Swamp Thing, don't do that.
It's just this mass of moss just goes flying off where his head would be. Yep.
I mean, that idiot, he was like even that infective finger sticking it in his mouth.
Mm-hmm. It's just some alien shit. Yeah, no, he seems to think if he collects a meteor and takes it to the college campus, they will give him a ton of money for it. And his version of a ton of money is like $200. And I'm like,
yeah,
really, dude? This is a bit sad. But I mean, that is at least the story that gives us this iconic picture of Stephen King. So, it's something.
Creepshow 2 or Creepshow 1? They're both great in their own right. I like them both.
I guess I will be seeing Creepshow 2 next week, so I can give you an answer then.
Yep,
this is my first time seeing the first one. Yeah. What about Creepshow 3?
Oh no. It's horrible.
So while we were watching it, my daughter was looking into it, and she's like, okay, so according to this, there's 3 Creepshows. The first 2 seem like they're okay, and the third one seems like everybody hates it.
Accurate. She's a smart cookie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's on top of this stuff.
Yeah, no, it's awful. It's just bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah,
I'm trying to find everything. I can't seem to find it. I'm gonna be clogging up the pipeline looking up for this for too long.
How dare you?
I know. How dare we derail?
Yeah. How dare we derail our Creepshow discussion with Creepshow facts? We don't like facts here, Bobby. God damn it.
Oh, easy Godfather 3 over Creepshow 3. Godfather 3, easily.
Oh, dude, like... Okay, so I don't hate Godfather 3 as much as most people. It's definitely a vastly inferior one. I mean, compared to the other 2, like the other 2,
the Coda version actually makes it make a little more sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it a little better.
And no, I have not watched the Exorcist series. So, like, I have a very busy schedule, guys. So, like, pretty much if you're wondering what I've seen, it's kind of what's on the podcast. There might be 1 or 2 things I watch outside of there, but that's about it. I'm watching Star Trek with my daughter for the stream as well, but that's about it. So if you ever wonder what I'm watching, look at this podcast.
Yeah.
I guess there's a Creepshow series as well that I am.
Yeah, that's on Shudder. I've caught a couple of episodes of it. It's pretty good.
This would probably work well as a series, just like random one-off, almost Twilight Zone type stuff. Really crazy stuff too. Like, I guess like Twilight Zone wouldn't be quite right, because Twilight Zone, not to say that Creepshow couldn't be thoughtful, but like Twilight Zone is usually a bit more thoughtful, but I don't know. You could do wild stuff with it too. Like I said, I overall enjoyed this. I think maybe the crate would work better for me earlier, and maybe leave something to tide you over, because I really like something to tide you over, and I think maybe the crate was just a letdown for me.
Okay.
And I will also say the crate was the longest story, so there's way more buildup in the crate than the other stories, which probably hurt it a bit as well, in my opinion. It does make me wonder if maybe if I watch it on its own, I would prefer it than I did the initial watch through. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand. I enjoyed it overall. It was a fun, quirky movie, like really fucking weird, and I kind of dug it. Like, actually,
Okay.
I mean, my daughter and I watched it. We both kind of dug it. My daughter and I
Nice.
watched all the stuff this week, so.
Okay. Nice. Well, I'm happy you enjoyed it.
Yeah, Gen V traumatized her, so in case you're wondering. It's how I roll. If I don't traumatize at least one of my kids every week, I'm failing. But yes, like saying the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2 makes the film a little bit better, Bobby Quarters.
Well, opinions, everyone has them. That's it.
Yeah. I will say the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2 is the better cut in my opinion, at least for pacing. And
yeah,
yeah,
for pacing purposes.
The end was a bit lame to me, but like the pace of Superman 2,
it's a little whack, yeah,
so much better. Yeah,
but I mean, there's a certain bar I have for Richard Donner, and that hits it.
Yep. So yeah, Creepshow was solid. I guess are we ready to just roll right into Child's Play?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the whole Halloween theme going on. I guess Gen V was the least Halloween, but like,
yeah,
our main character does like fuck with her blood essentially, so it's twisted enough to count as Halloween.
Creepy and
yeah,
kooky. But yeah, we're keeping
we
kind of creepy and Halloweeny and scary.
Yeah. So this was just fun. I'd never seen the original Child's Play before. For context, it's one of those horror movies or movies in general that's always been on the back burner because I've always kind of wanted to see it but never got around to watching it. And so this is my first time just sitting down and watching it. And yeah, I did not know. Well, Catherine Hicks from Star Trek 4 seemed familiar that she was in it. I had no idea Chris Sarandon was it until like the first couple of shots of this movie.
Did you notice who directed this one too?
Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the MCU Spider-Man. I did not know Tom Holland was that old.
And he's working with Prince Humperdinch again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
We haven't seen them work together since Fright Night.
Yeah, that's right. He did Fright Night as well. Yeah, so he's kind of into the horror comedy genre. It didn't even occur to me it's the same guy as Fright Night. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Oh, which one is the MCU Spider-Man? I'm getting confused.
He's the younger Tom Holland.
Oh, okay.
The Tommy Boy Holland.
Child's Play, the original one, is one of my favorite horror movies. Yeah, so
I
just thought this one was a lot of fun. Because it's I mean, number one, just I kind of dug the cast because I didn't even know Chris Sarandon was in this, and then Brad Dourif is Chucky. I'm fucking sold.
You get to see him a little bit in the opening, and he's great.
I fucking love how he is like the dolls fall over. He grabs one of the dolls, the good guy dolls, and he is doing this like spell / chant to it. And it is like, obviously he's saying gibberish, but he is doing it like fucking straight face. Like he is so goddamn dedicated. And that's part of the reason why I love Brad Dourif, because he is just selling this bullshit. Yeah. It's just, it's the goofiest fucking thing ever. But he is like, there's not a hint in his eyes that he is doing anything other than the most serious activity you could imagine. It's like, I loved it.
It's fucking magical, isn't it?
Shot. I know. He's like Listen, man, these are my lines. I'm selling it. I do not care.
I'm only technically on screen for a little bit. I'm gonna fucking make it work.
Yeah, I'm selling every moment. Yeah, I just love stuff like that in this movie. How seriously, like, that's part of almost where the comedy comes from. Because this movie, there's not like a winking aspect to this movie where it's a doll after us, wink, wink. No, this movie, like, the closest thing it gets to almost treating it goofy is that when people don't believe it. But then, like, when people actually see the doll, like, all of a sudden they're fucking serious and it's scary to them, at least. And I just love how they just sell it straight for how goofy the whole premise is. They're just straight faced. This doll's trying to kill us. Oh, fucking God.
Yep.
I kind of love that. I guess, Bobby, what are your thoughts towards Chucky or Child's Play?
Oh, do
you have any history with this?
Yes, I do, actually. Yes. This is like one of those ones that I found as a kid's channel surfing through late at night. It was actually Child's Play 2 that I found. So I saw that one before this one. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. And the fact that, at this time, special effects were obviously done practically, but most of the time, it's like Chucky is an animatronic through most of this movie, other than the times when it's obviously somebody in a costume.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for the time, it's impressive. Like, how well everything moves and works. And even with the newer series now that's on there, which is still, like, being, like, show ran by Don Mancini, the creator of the series of Chucky that started with this. And it's one of the rare in the horror genre that, Don Mancini has been the writer of every entry in this franchise, including like still being heavily involved. Yeah, so it's one of the rare that still has the same continuity. And like, not another team of writers comes in like with Freddy or Jason or Michael Myers. So it's one of the unique ones in the horror genre. Because even the show is still referencing all the same continuity. It's very cool.
Well, I remember looking it up and like it's still like I know there was a remake a few years ago and that was Mark Hamill as Chucky, but like the show,
we'll get into that one later.
Dourif as Chucky. Yeah, I'm kind of interested because I love Mark Hamill as well.
Yeah, I do. I do too. I still do after watching the movie, but we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll get into it because I'm intrigued to see what he does. Because, like, dude, I would like as an actor, I would not want to follow Brad Dourif.
That's a tough act to follow.
He's a unique presence. Yeah,
no matter you're going up against Billy fucking Bibbit, like that's a tough act to follow.
And yeah, no, here he has that little bit at the beginning where you actually see his face, and then like he has a great voice for Chucky. And you brought up the practical effects. That is one thing that concerned me going into this. I was like, oh, are they going to really like half-ass and cheap the effects on Chucky? And like towards the beginning, you can tell they're kind of just hiding it, but they're doing that for mystery. When we actually get to like Chucky moving and like attacking people, it actually looks pretty fucking good in this movie. Like it's pretty on point.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I could find it on YouTube. There's like a featurette of the progression of his like the creation of Chucky. And somebody put I'm sure somebody put something together, but it's so cool to see how they did that. Like of him walking down the hallway with a knife. It's like a raised set. So there's like somebody underneath controlling him on a track just for that shot.
I figured. Yeah.
But it is cool.
When you do something like this, where you have like a doll, it's like a puppet almost. And you have to figure out where you can hide. I mean, honestly, the strings. Sometimes you're going to hide them in the floor. Sometimes you'll hide them just directly behind them so the camera doesn't see it.
No, in this case, there's a lot of wires, and cables.
Yeah. It works. It works.
So this was another one that you had never seen before, right? This was another one that you had never seen before. Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say your favorite? So what would you say your favorite death was in this? Like the one that made you go, "Oh, that's cool." or the one you enjoyed the most, as morbid as that is.
Well, honestly, like, it wasn't a death, but I thought the attack in the police car was pretty solid.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously Chris Sarandon survives that one, but that one was the most memorable. I'm trying to think of actual like deaths. Probably the first one stuck out, but
the Aunt Maggie with the hammer and falling out.
Oh, you know what? The voodoo doll. The voodoo doll was pretty intense as well. That was wild.
Eddie Caputo's was kind of.
Did you have a pick?
Meh. I'd say either the voodoo doll. That one is quite memorable for me. Eddie Caputo's is always one thing I don't like. His friend who he turned the gas on. Like, how does he not smell the gas? Like, immediately kicking the door. I mean, obviously he must have like went on some sort of a bender and woke up from it to whatever noise he heard. But that one's always just funny to me. Because in the beginning, how it's starting to look for Andy. It's like, kid, this does not look good. Also, Alex Vincent, man, that kid is giving a great performance in this. Like, a truly great performance.
Yeah, I mean, the child actors can be spotty, but like, honestly, all the performances here I thought were pretty fucking solid. Including the child actor, who apparently Chucky learns if he wants a human body. He has to put his soul into the kid's body. Alex is here. Well, is that that's the name of the actor? What's the name of the character?
Andy Bartley.
Andy. Okay, that's right. Yes.
So you know that they've made the correlation between this and Toy Story?
No, what is it?
I've never really heard it.
Andy?
It's something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
I want to see that crossover so bad right now. Oh my god. The toys in Toy Story have to deal with another toy who's a serial killer. Oh my god.
They all are just being super friendly to him. He just pulls a knife out.
I want that crossover now. Pixar, you're walking away from money.
You need to write Brad Dourif a check.
Guy, make a deal. Yeah.
You need to write Brad Dourif a check.
Yeah, get Brad Dourif, get the guy who's in charge of the franchise. Get this crossover going right now.
Don Mancini, come on. I've heard him talk about it. Like, he's hurt. Like, he had read about it. He's like, it'd be cool. I mean,
yeah. It would never happen. I know
Chucky would walk away. Yeah. He's like, I know Chucky would walk away. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so I'm happy you enjoyed both of these.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so it'll be good to I don't know where I was going with that.
Bride of Chucky, yeah. That was bad, but it was definitely taking the franchise in a new direction. You know, because Scream had just come out, so I think they wanted to try and keep an audience, you know, by letting them see a title of a character they've heard about but don't know much about. So because a lot of horror movies that came out at that time, it was very much a lot like Scream, kind of meta, kind of little edgy humor from that, kind of very self-aware.
That, like, it's easy to forget how big of an influence Scream was, because all the franchises that Scream kind of modeled themselves after, almost all of them did like a Scream variant. Like, obviously, you were just talking about Pride of Chucky, but there's also Halloween H2O, which is kind of doing its own kind of like Screamish variant. There's lots of stuff like that. Like, I don't know, but yeah.
I agree. It's not the best in the series. I mean, I know that a lot of people hate Seed more, but I also enjoy campy horror movies too. So for its campiness, I thought it was funny. But you know, not everybody can like everything that everyone else likes.
Yeah.
Art is subjective. Like the same thing. It's beautiful. Yeah, no, art is subjective.
That's what makes it beautiful. It's objective. if you can't judge it objectively, you're wrong.
Oh, okay, Bradbury.
So
okay.
Yeah, we're going to do our objective review of Child's Play. So this movie was shot with a camera. It used lighting and actors to display the story that was written on a screenplay.
True.
Am I doing okay on the objective review?
Yeah, these are things that happened. Yes.
It was directed by Tom Holland, not Spider-Man.
But a Tom Holland.
Right? Yes.
He also directed a Fright Night.
Yes. The first one, I don't think he did the second one.
I hope not.
I remember. I've actually never seen the second one. I've seen the remake. You've got me wondering who did Fright Night 2.
I don't think it was him. So next week, I got nothing more on Child's Play, unless you have something you wanted to add.
Oh shit! Tommy Lee Wallace did Fright Night 2.
Oh, okay. He also directed.
I kind of want to check that out now.
He directed Halloween 3.
That's where I know him from. Well, he worked. I think he was the director of photography. I want to say on the first 2 Halloweens, or at least the first Halloween. And
yeah, he was director of photography on the first 2. No, he directed the second one. My mistake. No, it was the third one. Yes, it was.
No, he directed the third one. Yeah.
Anyways,
what do we have on the table?
We have Killers of the Flower Moon next week.
Yes, assuming I get the date right, which I'm pretty sure I did. We're going to actually cover that movie next week, not this week.
Is when we will go live next week.
Yeah.
Loki season 2 episodes 1 through 3, and Creepshow 2 next week.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I misspoke earlier on October 30th. October 30th is when we are going to be doing Child's Play, the remake, the new one. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
I'll be blunt. I don't really see it outperforming this one, in my opinion, because I think this one just kind of did the perfect, like, goofy but serious. Like, it's a goofy premise, but like it's gonna sell it seriously. And I don't see the remake doing better with that. But we'll see.
No, and I know that there's times where like a lot of people and people who will talk about this usually use like there's one line that really ages horribly, and it's how he has that date with Andy, but he says a 6-year-old boy, and it's like, ooh, no. And yeah, that one doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, context, my man, context.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it gives. I guess you could do a really fucked up read of that movie, but yeah.
Yeah, you can easily. But I mean, also like that school straight up let him just leave like that. It looked like he was walking in. There were teachers and administrators everywhere. They just let him walk right back out.
Nice. But
excuse me.
Yeah. So next week, I'm hoping for some good stuff next week.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
hopefully Marty's attempt at saving cinema will be great.
Yeah. Listen, like Killers of the Flower Moon is one of the things I'm fairly confident in next week, because Marty, he does good stuff still.
No, he's still, absolutely.
In my opinion, doing great. So I'm excited to check that one out. And the other stuff I'm a bit more hesitant towards, but I loved Loki season 1, so let's see what season 2 does. And Creepshow 1 was fun. Creepshow 2 will probably have less Ed Harris dancing though, so fuck it.
It won't have as much. It won't have as much Ed Harris dancing, but it will also have a member of the Naked Gun movies.
Is it going to be Leslie Nielsen or
no? It's not Leslie Nielsen. It's someone else.
Oh,
I know.
George Kennedy.
Yeah. Actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, it was either that or O.J. Simpson, and that would
no. No, actually, no. It's Ricardo Montalban.
Nice. Get Khan in there.
No. It's not Khan. It's actually George Kennedy, and he is just
okay.
Good. So good.
Well, no, he's a good actor too. So yeah, I'm excited to check that one out. So everyone have a good one. Party
Take care.
Be excellent to each other.
Yeah.